All right, so you're walking along the beach, you come across a lamp, you pick up the lamp, you're like, what is this thing? You rub it to dust it off, and pff, out comes the genie. The genie says, I'll grant you one wish. And you're like, what? I thought I'm supposed to get 3 wishes. He's like, nope, you only get 1. What does everybody wish for? Come on, you know it. More wishes, right? Well, what if you got like an alert, like on your phone or on the news or whatever, that there's a crazy storm coming, some really bad weather, flood, disastrous, catastrophic type stuff, and you get enough notice that you could like get out of your house like right now, but you only get to grab 1 item. What's the 1 item you would grab? I'll wait. A go bag. The item that you're supposed to grab is a go bag. But if you, 1, don't know what a go bag is, that won't work. If you know what it is, but you don't have one, that won't work. If you have one, but you haven't checked on it, and maybe the clothes don't fit like they used to, that won't work. Or you haven't changed the batteries in the flashlight and the other items that are in there, that won't work. So today we're going over what's in a go bag, what should you have in a go bag, and how do you get started? Stick around. What's up, warriors? This is Kyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training, here to share with you some warrior skills and drills that anyone can learn and everyone should know. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and thanks for stopping by. If you already follow us on social media, and that's how you find your way over to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button and the little thing where it says all notifications, so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops, and you get all sorts of cool content from here as well. If there was some sort of emergency and you had to get out of your house right now and you could grab only 1 thing, what would you grab? Now, little kids will be like, I don't know, my teddy bear or my Xbox or my whatever, or my cat or my dog. And adults like, oh, my phone or my wallet. And all of those things are right answers, you know. But what if you could grab 1 thing, just like asking the genie for a lot of wishes? If you could only grab 1 thing, but that 1 thing had a lot of things in it. Now, more important than me showing you the stuff that I have, I want this video, the channel's growing and there's so much awesome interaction from all my warriors out there. You guys are just rock stars. So I'm going to give you some ideas, and I can't wait to see the comments that come in and the way you guys help each other, because hey, if I was a 15-year-old girl, I'm going to have packed very different things than a 46-year-old guy. So, and vice versa, if I was a 75-year-old guy or girl, it's going to be different than a 46-year-old guy or girl. So we're going to go over some different areas and ideas for what you should have, and I'll show you some of what I have, but I don't want to make it a whole long video just on my gear. If you're interested in that, let me know and I'll share it, but I rotate through it a lot, pretty often. My kit went from very small to ginormous, and I've scaled it back a lot because ultimately, are you ready for this? Knowledge weighs nothing. So the more you learn how to use gear, you get by on way less stuff, the less stuff you need. And you start to get stuff that serves more than one purpose. And hey, watch my video on the 10 C's of survival. That is like the fundamental baseline of all my kits. And great, it's a 2-part video series that I put up, and just watch it and you'll get some ideas, and hopefully that'll help you out along too. All right, so let's get after it. All right, so the best way to look at a go bag is to think of it like, imagine you just came home from vacation and you got your suitcase, and in your suitcase is everything you needed for, like, I don't know, a long weekend or a week away or whatever it is. And you get this alert and they're like, hey, you got to get out of town right now. You just grab your suitcase, because in there you probably have your clothes and your toiletries and some medicine and your phone charger and all the stuff that you need to, like, be kind of comfortable for the, a week or around a week, right? When I first started making my first go bag, it was like I was ready to go into the wilderness and never come back. And it was very gear heavy and not very comfort item heavy. And truth is, if you were going to be displaced, the stuff that you need is like, hey, if I'm going to be going to a shelter or a hotel or a friend's house or going to stay with family, out of town or something like that, like, I need some stuff that I would bring with me on vacation. But if between here and there, it's like a really crazy catastrophe, and I got sidetracked along the way, that, wow, maybe I need to create a shelter or sleep in my car, or, God forbid, I had to ditch my car and take off on foot and start walking some miles. Well, then there's going to be some other stuff that I might not have in my suitcase, but I would need in my go bag. Do you understand? So the first area, the first category of stuff that you want to think about when you're building your go bag is food and water. If you think about the grocery store, the outskirts, the periphery, the perimeter is like your milk and dairy, fruits and vegetables, meats and stuff like that. All the fresh stuff is on the outside. And then the aisles of the grocery store is the stuff that could sit on the shelf forever. So when you're thinking about the stuff you're going to pack in your kit, the stuff from the middle. So I just came back from some survival training, and I spent a lot of time in the woods, and there's no refrigerator, there's no running water. You kind of like, you have what you bring with you, you know? So I always make these like, it's not like a military MRE, but it pretty much is. It's similar. I use these big bags, and then it is, I'll show you what's in this one. Beef jerky, some protein and some salt, because I know I'm going to be sweating a lot, and I want to replace my, the sodium helps retain some water. I put a lot of electrolyte packets so that when I find water, and either filter the water or boil the water to disinfect the water, and I'm going to use electrolyte packets to help me like get as much hydration out of that as I can. Some protein bars or meal replacement bars. Trail mix is great. You know, it's Gorp. The Scouts call it good old raisin and peanuts. Gorp. Just trail mix with some. If you're going to get chocolate in there, get like M&M's or something, because if you just put chocolate chips, they melt and it turns into like more of a candy bar. If you're okay with that, then whatever. These are like, instead of bringing cans of tuna, I bring these packets of tuna. They're $1 each at Walmart or something like that, and they're great. They're tasty. They're easy to eat. Some mayonnaise packets, ketchup, mustard, whatever. Some other stuff that I bring also is these like camping or hiking foods. You boil some water, you tear this pack open, you pour the water in, you close the thing, you let it sit for 10 minutes or whatever, 5 minutes. You stir it, open it up, and you got a meal. It doesn't weigh anything, and if you can find water, if you have some sort of water filtration system, it helps you get the water you need. But for a basic kit, you need to have some bottles of water. If you have some Poland Spring bottles in the house, just throw them in your bag. If you have some sort of container that you could use and refill, throw it in your bag. You get the idea. You got to make sure that you have food because it's good for you, and you'll survive without the food for quite some time, but you're going to be awfully cranky and awfully moody, and it would just be a lot smoother for you and everybody else with you. And water, man, your body will start to break down if you're not staying hydrated and you're not getting proper electrolytes and potassium and all the other good stuff that your body needs. All right, second category is clothes. Now, again, you need clothes for the climate that you're in, the area that you're in, and the climate and area or environment that you think you're going to. I'd wear pretty much what I'm wearing. I don't mind wearing the same stuff for a few days in a row. I'd like to have more than one shirt. Again, if it got torn, if it got wet, the change of clothes is really more not about getting dirty, but about getting wet, because you get wet, it gets windy, all of a sudden you're freezing cold, right? Making sure you have layers to protect yourself from the sun. You want to maintain your core body temperature. So if you're too hot, no good. Too cold, no good. Wet, no good. Something maybe like some sort of windbreaker. It doesn't have to be a heavy, like a heavy thing. You could use a rain poncho or a raincoat. Simple stuff. Some good shoes with some good laces. A couple pairs of socks. Some powder to keep your feet dry and stuff like that. Again, I don't want this video to be on everything that you should have or everything that I have. I want you to think, hey, if it turned into The Walking Dead between here and Grandma's house, what do I do? What do I need with me? So, if you were going on vacation, you'd have some spare underwear, some spare socks, a couple pairs of shoes, right? You want shoes that are going to be comfortable for walking in case you had to do a lot of walking. Make sure you have a good set of sunglasses, a baseball cap, even like a knit hat, you know, because if it's hot during the day and cold at night, you lose a lot of your body temperature through your head. So, again, going through your clothes list, the basics. Think of all the stuff that your mom or grandma would have said to you. Hey, don't go out without your... And that's... Hey, they never steer you wrong, right? So, take that advice. All right, so the next area is health and hygiene. Health and hygiene should be things like toothbrush, toothpaste, stuff for your hair, stuff for your skin, baby wipes, great idea, baby powder, stuff that's going to like... if you had to walk for a long time and you're sweating and you're kind of like starting to chafe and your skin's getting irritated, like that's just a recipe for real discomfort, which you don't want to deal with that. So just think like, hey man, when it's really hot outside, I know that I need to have, and that's what you bring. Or man, when it's really cold outside, my skin gets kind of chapped and I really need to have, and you should have some of that too. You know you, and that's why your kit's going to be specific to you. If you're a mom or dad, some of your stuff is probably going to have to be for your kids. I've had this first aid kit for a long time. This is made by a company called 511. If you're not familiar with them, it's just a great, I love their stuff because it's very organized and very I don't know, a lot of zippers and pouches and stuff. So this is a 6x6 kit that opens up. Now, obviously in my suitcase, I have a toiletry bag that has my toothbrush, toothpaste, all that stuff. In this, it's a first aid kit. So health and hygiene. Health is like, one side is like over-the-counter meds, headache meds, stomach meds, pain meds, ibuprofen, Excedrin, all that stuff. Neosporin, you know, a triple antibiotic cream. The other side's more of a trauma pouch. So it's like quick clot, God forbid I had a heavy bleeding wound, a tourniquet. But again, this little thing turns into nothing. And pretty much everything that I need is in here. Tweezers, Band-Aids, all that stuff. And it goes in this pack. If it's taking up too much space, it's got these little straps that go through these little loops. And I can put it on the outside of the pack if I want. When it comes to health and hygiene, at the very least, you should have some sort of small first aid kit. The prescription medicines that you would use every day. The more stuff you know how to use, the less stuff you need to carry. The more uses you could find for something, the less stuff you need to carry. All right, so the next one's comfort items. So that could be stuff like, you know, if everybody's different. So for your kid, it might be their favorite teddy bear or a teddy bear. A comfort item could be like a book with puzzles and stuff in it. Comfort items for you might be a book with, like a regular book, like, oh man, I really like the story, or hey, I want to get around to reading that book, or something that would help you pass the time. It's better when it's not electronics. Maybe like a deck of cards, coloring book for your kids. Easy stuff that, like, hey, it's keeping them occupied while I could get focused, get my head in the game, and really think about my plan of what's our next move and where do we go from here. Comfort items could also be like snacks, like chocolate, Snickers bar, cookies, whatever stuff. Again, stuff that doesn't go bad, but something that would just like, if I could pack a comfort item, coffee. Man, all right, wherever I am, I'll have a cup of coffee, and for the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, everything is right in the world. I got my coffee, I got my kids, I got my family, whatever it is. What is the thing that makes you comfortable? Now, it could be a pair of socks, could be a certain sweatshirt, could be whatever. Again, that's where your bag is going to be suited for you. What are things that keep you comfortable? What comfort items can you think of? Like, oh man, I never leave home without my... All right, now the next one is survival gear. And I think this is the area that most people think of when I say, hey, let's build a go bag, or let's see what's inside your go bag. And they've got like an axe and a saw and like trekking poles and snowshoes and, oh my God. Now, not that there's not a use for those things, but again, where are you in the world? Where, like, how far do you really need to go to get from your home, let's say, or your work, let's say, or wherever, to where you need to get to safety? So there are items that, yes, you should have. Some survival items that, yes, you should have. But again, if you understand how to use them, you got some knowledge, you got some like, hey, I know that I could use this thing for several different things. I could use it to collect water, to boil water. I could put cold water in there and use it as an ice pack on a bump or a bruise or an injury. I could use hot water and use it on my lower back, like a heating pad. I've used this, believe it or not, as a pillow. Laying on the ground, can't get comfortable. I need somewhere to put my head. Where's my shemagh? I take this and this. This is the structure. This is the cushion. Put it under my head, and there's my pillow. So again, you could use it to transport other stuff. You could put fishing gear or whatever stuff. It's a container also, right? Again, survival gear. Check out the 10 C's. Having a good, strong knife, like a cutting tool that would help you process firewood, that would help you use the back of the knife to get a spark off a fire steel, to use as a tool for cutting anything. Think how many things I come across a cheesecake and so you need some sort of cutting tool. You need some sort of container. You need some sort of flashlights, preferably one that you could use with no hands. You put that on your head, you turn on the light, now you got your hands free, change your tire, dig through your bag, whatever. Having a compass, if you know how to use one, to find your way, to navigate where you're going. If you have no idea where you're going, how do you walk a straight line, right? So you take out your compass, say, oh, I need to go west, and you find out which direction is west, and you hold it up, and you look at something in the distance, and all right, I'm going to walk to that thing. And you get to that thing, and then you set another waypoint. And that way, instead of wandering like this, that's west, I'm going west. Get to there, I see the next thing. All right, still pointed west. Oh, I see that tree, I see that building, I see that house. And now you're navigating in a straight line. Cotton material, again, you have so many different uses for it. Having something maybe that's a bright orange, like if you're going to be in the woods and you don't want to be found, then yeah, you're going to go with your secret squirrel colored clothing. But if you're in the woods and you're like, oh my God, I hope somebody comes and finds me along the way, then you're going to have something that kind of contrasts against that. Having some sort of cover. So this is a bedroll, and in this is basically a 8 or 9 foot by, I think it's 9 foot by 9 foot tarp, and it opens up and it's got tie points like grommets all over it, and I could make a shelter out of it. In there I got a wool blanket. It's really heavy duty to keep me warm if I can get myself off the ground. So do you need to have this whole thing in there? No, but you should have some sort of like tarp or really heavy garbage bag that you could use as a tarp to create some shelter. In summer months, here's another great, this is a great invention. So this is a poncho liner, and it's military style. It's made by a brand called Helicon Tex. I really like them a lot. So you could use it as a poncho. You could use it as a sleeping bag. You could use it as a blanket. It's rainproof, like waterproof. So like you could use this as a raincoat. It's pretty warm. Summertime, I could sleep in this thing. Wintertime, I might use this as a layer, not my only layer. But again, super light, doesn't take up that much space. You could tie it to the outside of your bag. So again, knowledge weighs nothing. Grab a bag that has pretty much what you're gonna need, or most of what you're gonna need, and a lot easier for you to figure out, like, all right, well, I got my bag, I know how to use the stuff in there. I have some food, I have some water, I have my clothes, I got my toothbrush, I got my toothpaste, I got my headache meds and my cholesterol or whatever medicines you might have to take every day. Pack enough to last you a few days and you're good to go. You're not stressing out. You grabbed your one thing, you threw it in the car, and off you go. When it comes down to your 5 categories of food and water, clothes, health and hygiene, comfort items, and survival gear, what is the least amount of stuff that you think you need, that you can carry, in a bag that you could throw on your back or in your car and go on a moment's notice? Let me know in the comments section below what you think, what items that you must have, what items am I missing out. Again, I'm not going through my whole kit, but I want to give you some food for thought. Well, if you made it this far and you like what I'm teaching and preaching, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and like this video. If you're loving it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you gotta have it, make sure you hit the bell notification button and the little spot where it says all notifications, so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops. If you're really digging it and you want more, you can find me on all social media platforms at 5 Elements Tactical. That's all I got for now, warriors. So until our paths cross again, pray for the best, prepare for the rest. I'm Kyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training. Thanks for watching.